it's Zim, and yeah, whoa, he's in ships. So actually, this is going to be my first review I've ever did on a ship in World of Warships, and this is the Tier 2 destroyer. Probably going to be doing some of the lower tier stuff just as I progress up this in this game. So we're going to start out with the Tachibana, which is the Tier 2 destroyer, Japanese destroyer. Um, Historically, this ship was one of two of the Sakura class laid down in 1912, actually launched in 1912. What was interesting about her is that her and her sister's ship, the Japanese were unable to afford some of the newer engines in the Yumikaze class. So instead, they built the Tachibana and her sister ship using coal-fired uh, expansion engines. Essentially, uh, by doing so, reduced horsepower but increased range by quite a bit. These were intended to be coastal um, destroyers, but unfortunately, being that the Yumikaze was didn't have the legs, they were deployed extensively overseas, both her and her sister. Uh, in game, the the armament's a little bit different than what was actually on the ship. Uh, she actually only carried originally only two torpedo tubes. In game, she's got four. So there is a little bit of difference between this ship. Obviously this and uh, the real one. I'm assuming this is probably in Wargaming's attempt to upgrade this ship into something that's at least viable. So she was launched in 1912. She served in 19 till 1932, 20 years, and then eventually scrapped in 1933. Both her and her sister. Uh, with those coal-powered engines, she was actually able to get up to 30 knots. With the somewhat underpowered, I guess, if you looked at the Yumikaze class. But like I said, at the time, Japan wanted a long-range destroyers, and obviously operating where they do in the Pacific and whatnot. The coal worked out much better. These were, essentially these were top of the line destroyers, at least for the Japanese at the time. With the coal fired engines, she was able to actually participate somewhat in World War One, along with according to their agreement, being that they had involved in World War One on the Allied side. I don't know if I didn't really do a whole lot of in-depth research. I think she did operate in the at least around the Europe Mediterranean area, if I believe what I read. Um, Someone could probably correct me on that. I'm not sure. But yeah, so in game, the Takimana is, I believe, if I can find the price on it, might not even be on here. It wasn't. I don't think it was a whole lot. I think it was right around 2,000 gold or $10 or whatever, $5, whatever it was when it was in the shop. Um, as a Japanese destroyer, this is kind of an odd one. Obviously, it's not near as good as the actual um, Tier 2 Japanese destroyer. The problem is with this ship is that it has, I believe, the lowest hit points in game. Obviously no armor. The main batteries, 5 by 76 millimeters. There's five gun mounts, 76 millimeter, and they have a dismal 8 kilometer range. Not the best, but we're not. You don't play Japanese destroyers to be gunboats anyway. You typically do not want to get into duels as little as possible. But then that comes to the problem with the Takibana, 5 kilometer torpedoes and 44 knots. Yeah, they take a long time to get there, and they're very short ranged. Now I'm playing this ship actually with a new crew that I'm training for the Waka, and this is my detectability until I get my perk to drop that down is only 5.2. So 5.2 detectability, 5 kilometer torpedoes. Yeah. The great thing about it is they do have a 19-second reload. So, once you fire them, they're reloaded fairly quickly. Maneuverability wise, not bad. And like I said, it's tier 2. Um, she gets around. Decent smoke screen. Obviously at this low of tier, you're not going to get extended smoke screens. I think they're well under a minute, but still not bad. The torpedoes are, I believe 6,500, 6,600 is their average damage. So with 4, if you're lucky, you might be able to take out, a cruiser if you can get close enough. Like I said, it's really hard with this ship. I have a new crew, essentially a new captain, so I'm not. Once you get that detectability range down, she's going to be a little bit easier to work with. But as a starter for the Japanese destroyer line, I mean, obviously, you do the kamikazes and all that stuff. Tier 5 are typically better ships, for what they're packing. But hey, this is one of those kind of oddball little ship, and it's kind of it's a fun little ship that if you want to cruise around tier 2, wreaking havoc. I do love the reloads on these things, and you'll watch in the video replay that I'm playing that I'm just literally getting chased by a couple Yumakazes, and I'm just spamming shit left and right. I mean, as soon as I get them reloaded, I'm spamming them. I know they're in the general area, so I'm not really aiming, but I'm just kind of sending out a real slow hello message, and you'll see in the video what I'm talking about. All in all, like I said, tier 5. If you're going to buy a premium destroyer for the Japanese line, wait till the Kamikaze or the Kamikaze R comes out. Something like that. They're just a better trainer in general. Much more along the play style that you're going to get as you move up in the deal. So, but if you want to do like the actual collecting, this is kind of a fun little ship. And if you're just going to cruise around tier 2 once in a while, you're bored or whatever, yeah, this will do fine. Armor layout, none. You're going to get let on fire. You're going to get penetrated. You're going to, it's just, I mean, there's canoes that have more armor than this. And the fact that they took this thing on the open ocean, that's just absolutely amazing. So, to buy it, to buy it not, entirely up to you. Collector, if you're a collector, you're probably going to pick it up. It's obviously weaker than the other tier 2s at its level. Once again, if you're going to buy this as something that just rack up some free XP on your captains, hey, go ahead and grab it. But as a real competitive piece of machinery, it's pretty questionable, and it has mostly to do with the fact is if you're playing Japanese, it's all about the stealth and it's all about the torpedoes. And this one, until I get the concealment down, not so great. And the torpedoes are just absolute. It's just like it's like watching a slow train wreck, and then then it doesn't hit. I mean, they're just that slow. So I'm gonna get on to the game. It's actually a game I really didn't do a whole lot of damage, just more of along the lines of actually just winning it, and it is. It was a fun little game. It was a really tight game, which is also always fun to be involved in. So I'm going to bring up the replay for you guys to check out the Tachibana. Alright guys, we are back with the gameplay with the Tachibana. We're playing the Solomon Islands. Hey, if you guys didn't catch it, we do a community event. Our Panic Joe runs a nice little community event where he does historical battles, and this is actually the one we just got done doing last Sunday or Saturday or Sunday. You'll see it actually if you go down into the videos that we did. It's a community event, so there was some guys from different clans, different people from the wargaming community that got together, did a historical battle with the Solomon Islands, Guadalcanal. So check it out. It was a good time. If you haven't had a chance to see the post in the forums, go find it if you want to. Show up. It's a good time. I believe there's a new one coming on Sunday, right around 6 Eastern, 5:30, 6 Eastern is when it's going to start, and I believe it's another chapter of the Guadalcanal battle. So check it out if you get a chance. It's a good time. Meet some new people and all that kind of stuff. So did my spiel, and now we're back to the game. So as a destroyer captain, you typically want to, as the quicker of the ships, you want to try to get out there and get you some cap points. And you'll see me heading directly for C here. I don't have a lot of support actually at all. Pretty much the entire team went the opposite direction. But I'm a destroyer, so I'm not here to fight when I get to this cap. All I'm going to do here is try to get the cap and at least start capping the deal. Of course, the Yamakaze's already beat me here, and that leaves me here with the one cruiser, and we're going to be taking on the, at this point, only the Yamakaze that we find. They pop smoke, he pops smoke I should say, and I fired torpedoes into the smoke. As did the cruiser. So now, when I talked about how slow those torpedoes are, yeah, watch his compared to mine. Mine look like 4 fat whales playing in the surface of the water as they make their way slowly to the smoke. So yeah, 44 knots. It's just not worth it sometimes. I have an idea that he's still in there somewhere, so you're just going to see me spamming torpedoes. And you'll see me do that a lot in this game, because 19-second reload on torpedoes, there's no point in leaving them in the tubes. So you'll see me just start dropping torpedoes left and right. Hopefully I'm going to hit some. If I hit some, if I don't hit some, whatever, it works that way. So we got a St. Louis bearing in on them. They take C. There's not much I can do to contest it. There's just too many ships here. Here comes a St. Louis. 2 cruisers, Chikumas are coming in from the other side, and now we have a Kolberg. So yeah, it's time for me to exit the area with that Yamakaze here. He's obviously got a much better crew than I do, so you're not going to see me hang around here too long. Once again, I was talking about earlier with the 19-second reload, there's no point having those torpedoes in your tube. I know there's a Yamakaze out there, and with these short-range torpedoes, what you'll see me do here a lot of times is I'll be essentially dropping torpedoes in the way of these guys as they come toward me. What I'm hoping to happen is, with 5 kilometers, they're moving toward me. I'll be able to get him to run into it. Yamakaze picks me up again. This is one of those things about the detectability and this crappy captain I have. There's not much I can do. So all I'm doing right now is just kind of running for my life. Kolberg's in on me. He wants to kill me. They take out my only support, the cruiser. So now I'm essentially running from at least 4 ships. And once again, I get spotted. This is what kind of sucks about not having that perk on your destroyer. And being that she's cold fired, she burns. Boy, does she burn. Look at that smoke. You wouldn't think you'd even have to lay down a smoke screen with that much coal. So I'm out of here. So now I got 2 Yamakazes and 2 cruisers chasing my shit. Luckily, with the turbo boost, I move out of the range of the Yamakaze. So I'm back to the torpedo thing, and people are gonna go, well, why are you firing torpedoes? And with a 19-second reload, essentially what I'm doing is just kind of laying a nice little minefield out there for anything that could possibly be chasing me or following me. And I know both those Yumikazes are essentially doing that right now. They're tailing me, trying to light me for their 2 cruisers. So I have a general idea that they're, one Yumikaze is over here and one Yumikaze is behind me, and I'm just dropping torpedoes in a general pattern, hopefully to catch one of those guys moving around. Once again, 2 cruisers coming inbounds. I finally get some of the teams actually kind of paying attention here, and they're actually turning around and somewhat moving back toward Cap here. Yumikaze once again lights me, and I am might as well take a shot at him. But lo and behold, yeah, the old minefield actually worked. I love it when a plan comes together. So I got one more Yumikaze behind me. No idea where he's at, and you'll just see me, like I said, just start dropping torpedoes left and right. It's not hurting me any, and once in a while you do get lucky on this thing. Kohlberg's coming in. I have a pretty good idea. He's coming straight at me, so you'll see my next set of torpedoes. I believe. No, I'm essentially just trying to give that other Yumikaze a little bit of pause as he chases me. Kohlberg's coming after me, or at least aiming in my direction. So my next set of torpedoes is going to be for him. And with the 19 seconds to reload, you can put so many of these out there. So I'm waiting. He turns away though, so there is really no point in me actually dropping those torpedoes. Now you'll see me fire here. I know I'm undetected, and what I'm trying to do here is to draw a little bit of his attention, or at least to St. Louis's attention, away from my couple cruisers over here. They don't take the bait, and there's not much I can do about that. So I pull around. Those 2 cruisers are leaving. Once again, just dropping torps behind me, laying them out there to see if I'm going to catch anything, if that Yumikaze is going to come in behind me or not. Nothing, and at this point we are up just a little bit, but they have 2 caps. So what I'm going to start doing here is what you typically should do as a destroyer, is try to keep those caps under your control. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm heading toward Cap B, and I'm going to try to take that cap and keep it out of enemy hands as long as I can. At this point, I'm not terribly sure until he gets spotted right there where the other Yumikaze is. But he is actually just kind of hanging out. Just simply all he's doing is dropping torpedoes on this poor Dresden. He doesn't have much chance. So we lose to South Carolina. The Kawachi finishes off him, and that's leaving us 3 here, 4 against their fair amount of ships. So I know St. Louis is headed toward the cap, and then he starts to turn in toward the island, and I need to get this cap. We're down right now in superiority points, and they have 2 caps. So unless we start capping, we're going to lose this game. So I said, you know what? All right, I mean, damage is great and all that kind of stuff, but capping these cap points is really the difference between a lot of times winning and losing. So the longer we hold the cap points, the better off we are. So I have 2 cruisers behind me, and I'm looking to see if I can get a shot in on St. Louis. Unfortunately, he turns away, so there's really no point in trying to spam any torpedoes at him. Until about that time, he makes a hard left, and he's coming back toward cap. So you'll see me here start to, and I have no idea where he's going to go. He's obviously not going to go into the island. So I just start spamming torpedoes into the general area where he might go at. I'm spotted. He's actually wrecking the crap out of my cruisers, so I decided to do a little support to him and try to finish off this do a little damage to this St. Louis, and hopefully assist my team. Right now, my biggest thing is getting this cap. I need the cap points, and one way or another, I have to get this cap. So I still keep pummeling shells into him. Obviously, he's not interested in me, so I'm going to try to see if I get him lit on fire, and you know, keep his attention, maybe just a little bit. Maybe he'll look my way. Doesn't do any good, but I do win the cap. Now you're going to see me do a little something. I could run for it. I could move off into C, but the problem is by doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be essentially letting this cap up, because the St. Louis is coming back. I can't let this cap go. The game is too tight for us not to have them. So I pull back around. I'm kind of hoping he's going to come down the slot, but he turns away, which is fine. I have a cruiser on to the north of me, and I'm just essentially trying to find him on the other side of that hill. Hopefully I was going to get maybe a little light of fire on him or something like that. Drops a few shells over there. It's hard to tell, you know, to actually gauge where he's sitting at, to put a few shells into him. He moves away from B, so I'm feeling a little bit more confident right now that I'm not going to have to worry until, oh wow, look at that, Yumikazes show up. There's one. This time, you're not going to chase me, buddy. And the other one shows up. I actually have a cruiser sitting right here with me. Pop smoke. They pop smoke. I'm not going to let them have this cap. Whatever I got to do, I'm going to have to keep them off this cap. Pull back out, try to get into somewhat of a torpedo firing position. Pop off some torpedoes into their smoke. Move out of the smoke, because you don't want to sit in smoke when you have other destroyers close, because that's the thing that that's what they're gonna torp. That Yumikaze is moving off. He's actually, I think, going out to try to kill the St. Louis, which is fine by me. I do have one cruiser here with me, so I'm feeling a little bit more confident. But once again, I cannot let them have that cap. So back in I go. And to the north of us, the other two destroyers have moved in, and they are ready to cap C. My cruiser turns around. Thank goodness he's paying attention. We're going to try to see if we can knock out this Yumikaze. Once again, blind firing torpedoes into that smoke. I'm not leaving this. You're going to have to sink me before I leave this. So he's trying to cap. I'm trying to protect. We are actually taking C, and it's making it a little bit more interesting here now that we have C. It can be C captured and essentially still have B. So move in behind the hill here. I don't really want to take any damage from possible torpedo. Once he's past that point, I'm not too worried about it. Cruiser moves up. He chases the Yumikaze out of the cap, so now I don't have to worry about it near as much. And we still own cap. Now we've taken C, and we have all of the caps. This is the point where it's hopefully going to make a difference in winning or losing this game. St. Louis comes around. Yeah, he just literally lit me up with that kind of crap. Yeah, missed the torpedo. Once again, critical damage. Sets me on fire, but I already used my repair kit on the last crappy HE cell we've let me on, but whatever. But he wastes his time. He went after me. The other cruiser finished him off, and now I'm gonna burn. I wasn't sure if I was gonna survive this. I was that low of health, plus the fact that I was, lit on fire and no repair. So I'm gonna burn, and I'm gonna burn, and I'm gonna burn, and I'm gonna burn. But don't worry, folks. I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna die. Very, very close, but I'm saved. Literally just saved. so I can keep playing. So I'm back to, we've got all 3 caps. I'm still burning. Yeah, yeah, that's right. 94 hit points. You know, that's 93 more than I need, right? So got the caps. They're finally starting to take A, but you've noticed now the superiority points have completely switched with the death of that St. Louis. So we're looking a lot better than we did, say, about a minute and a half ago. We have the Kawachi coming in, we have V25 and Yumikaze. V25 takes kind of an interesting gamble here. If he would have stayed alive, this game would have been over probably a little bit quicker. But he goes in and decides he's going to try to torp out the Kawachi. Kawachi don't care, and you notice how quick the superiority points just changed with that, with the death of him. So, Kawachi's coming at me. I'm laying torpedoes out in front of him. Hopefully he's going to run into some. Yumikaze's just pumping away torpedoes left and right. He's got a little bit better range than I do. And, he doesn't have to get quite as close as I do to make his work. But 19-second reload, back up with torpedoes. And like I said, he's coming at me, so I'm just laying torpedoes out in front of him. Hopefully, for him to run into him. But, no, he's did some magic shit there. Unfortunately, in doing so, he missed mine, but the Yumikaze didn't miss. So now, knocked out him, got 2 destroyers left, and we have 2 of the 3 caps, and we're up on superiority points. So we are looking pretty well here. The cruiser's chasing down the other Yumikaze and doing a bang-up job of finishing off those little fucks, so we can possibly maybe win this, hopefully. He puts a couple more shells into the Yumikaze and finishes him off right there. So now puts us up to 885. We're 200 ahead of them on superiority points, and there's not a whole lot the other Yumikaze can do other than maybe sink all 3 of us. But he was last spotted down on the A cap. So yeah, it's just simply just going to be sitting here and collecting superiority points until we win. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, once again, this Yumikaze, or this Tachibana is okay. I mean, it's not a competitive tier 2. I mean, obviously there's other tier 2s out there that are better. But if you're going to start out on the Japanese destroyer line, hey, pick it up if you do see it in shop. I would recommend, if you're going to pick up a premium tier Japanese destroyer, I would recommend more on the line of the Kamikaze or the Kamikaze R, if they ever come out or if they give them away. They're being much more along the playstyles that you're going to have to use as you move up the Japanese line of destroyers. This one may be more along the lines if you're more of a collector, or if you really like to play low tier destroyers, or low tier in general. It can be a fun little ship. So like I said, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will be bringing you some more as the time permits. I'm already putting up reviews on other things, so hopefully I get back to Warships here and put up a couple more. So thanks for watching, and we'll be catching you guys later.